So many people think that being a builder means that you're actually physically doing the work, breaking out the tools, and you need to know how to do each and every single trade. Well, I'm going to show you how that's completely wrong. And if you follow these steps I'm going to show you, pretty much anybody can build a house successfully. If you haven't subscribed yet, make sure you hit that subscribe button and the bell to be notified each and every single time we drop a new video on how to be a successful and confident new construction spec home builder. The majority of people that come into my coaching program don't know anything about the trades, but as they follow my step-by-step process, they become a successful and confident home builder. The key to becoming a home builder is not necessarily the experience of knowing how to do each and everything that the trades do, but as you watch this video, you're going to see exactly what is important. I always say that when you finally get to the build, that's the easiest part as long as you do the front end right. In order to be super efficient and plan properly, the majority of the work is done in the office, not the field work. Step 1, you've heard me say this before, create a spec sheet. This is the starting point that you're going to give your architect and your designer, once it goes over to design, an idea of what you're looking for, what type of home, roughly kind of square footage, how many bedrooms, how many bathrooms, just an idea in that sense. Then you're going to go through and like what type of foundation, what type of roof, just some of the finishes on the inside. You're not given details like what color something is or the brand of flooring, but like you're using a wood floor versus carpet, or you're using tile in the bathrooms versus a linoleum, fiber cement versus vinyl siding. Those are the types of things that you want to put in the spec sheet. The spec sheet is your starting point that once you pick a lot, you've done your due diligence, you have an idea of what you're going to build. Now you put the spec sheet together, then it goes into architecture. Step 2 is it gets over to your architect. And as long as your architect is putting some good, solid details about the build, things like your wet areas, your bathrooms, for example, your bathtub, showers, your tubs, your sinks, and in other areas like appliances, for example, like a refrigerator, a dishwasher, a washing machine, those types of things in the plumbing section, if they're putting that, then the plumbers are going to know exactly what they need to do. Also, an electrical plan, a detailed electrical plan that shows the lighting that is going in there, switches, any kind of accent outlets or additional outlets outside of code. You don't mark outlets in particular because those are based on code. But if you wanted to put an outlet in a certain place, like in a master closet that doesn't require it because maybe someone wants to plug in an iron or somebody wants to use it for a charging station, or maybe up on a wall for a TV in a bedroom or in a living room so that you don't have cords hanging down, they could plug in behind a TV hanging on the wall. Those are examples of things for the electrical plan. And then last but not least, thinking through your mechanical part, your HVAC, your ductwork. Are you going to need to bring a chase because you're doing a zone unit with one system and you need to chase down into or chase up into one floor or the other? How are you going to maneuver your ductwork in between the floors? Are you doing open web floor trusses or are you going to do I-joists? So you need to be thinking about all these different things and how all the mechanicals are going to work through there. Details like a pull down attic door or a scuttle to get up into an attic space. Anything that you need to make sure that you're preparing now on paper. The idea is let's create a detailed instruction manual so when people get on site, there's no questions asked. Step number 3 is going to be when you connect your surveyor with your architect. Okay, so your architect has created the plans, you've gone through, all the details are good, you've signed off on it, they've given you a full set of CDs, construction drawings, engineering, it's all ready to go. Now, before you go into permitting, it goes over to the surveyor. Basically, the architect gives the surveyor the CAD files of the house plan. They overlay it on their plot plan to show exactly where the house is going to be positioned on the lot. Then they're going to add things in like the driveway, HVAC units, decks, patios, any kind of impervious surfaces, things like your clean out for your sewer line, if you have water, city water and sewer. It just depends on what your municipality requires. They may require you to show like street trees, not just where they're located, but what type of tree they are, with the diameter, all kinds of things like that. You need to know what your municipality requires so that you can prepare, get that on a plot plan. So when you go to turn in for the permits, they have everything that they need. If you're starting to see that you can do this, if you plan properly from the beginning and you have a certain process, then hit the like button. Also, I want to hear from you. Comment below. Put any kind of comments about maybe some different things that you do or tips that you're doing in your business that maybe are a little bit different than what I'm doing. Or if this was a big aha moment for you, share that with me as well. Your thoughts and questions make these videos better, so don't hold back. Make sure that you're commenting. I will be responding to each and every single one of those. Step 4 is going to be sending this off to a designer, and the designer is going to go through and they're going to do all of the selections. They're going to pick your cabinet style, your cabinet colors, your countertops, your tile backsplash, your tile in your bathrooms, your flooring, your paint colors, every single part of this house, every single selection. So they're going to go through and make all of these selections. And what they're going to do is they're going to put it on a spreadsheet, the location of where it goes, what the selection is, what the model number is, if there's a color, any kind of detail specifically. Then you also want your designer to put together a design board that shows all your different selections. You're not just looking at a model number, now you're looking at what it looks like, what the color looks like, and that way people can, feel and see when it gets on site, it actually looks like what's on the picture. Step number 5, I think that this is the most important part of this entire process, is now you need to make sure that you have a solid team of contractors. If you're just getting started off and you don't have a team yet, you should interview and get pricing from at least anywhere from 3 to 5 contractors. The idea is not just pricing, like how much are they going to charge, but you also need to maybe do some research on them and, check the reviews. How do their Google reviews look or social media reviews look? You want to make sure that they don't have any kind of bad names out there. Ask for references, ask for referrals. The next thing that you really want to be looking at with them is timeline. How long will it take them to do the job? How long does it take them to get onto the job? Meaning, how far are they? Do they need a 2-week notice, a 30-day notice, a 2-month notice? Putting all these parts and pieces together to understand who's going to be the best fit for you. One of the very first things that you're looking at is going to be price. I always say if you've got 5 different prices from 5 different contractors, right? And you get 3 pricings that just about the same, one's real high, one's real low, then let's start with these 3, okay? Because obviously those 3 have something in common. They're within a similar price point. The one that's really high, they may not know what they're doing, and same with the one that's really low. Who knows? I've actually used people that have been really low and they've been great contractors. At first, when you're building a team, I would try to get a couple of contractors that are coming, within the same price range, and that's your first factor. Then you start breaking it down. Okay, the 3 of these people are just about the same price. Then you start looking at time and reputation on top of everything else. Again, referrals are always the best contacts that you can get to build in your team, but make sure you have a solid team because it makes a world of difference when you have somebody that's communicating properly, that's showing up on your job, they are giving you good quality, you don't have warranty issues, and honestly, they want to be there, which makes it pretty nice because, everybody on site, it's fun to get along with. You're with these people all day long. And you want to make sure that you have a good, solid team from the accounting, from the people on the job site to scheduling, every single part. You want to make sure you have a good working relationship with these people. So you want to build a very good solid team. Once you chose a contractor, then you want to send them out a PO, a purchase order, which is basically locking in their pricing into your system, and it's based on your subcontractor agreement. So if you have the right subcontractor agreement, the PO system kind of locks in their pricing. So you want to make sure that now they have all the critical documents signed and sent over to you, meaning the subcontractor agreement, a W-9, and the insurance that is required from them. The sixth and final step is now getting with your field construction supervisor, having a pre-construction meeting to go over the plans, redline anything that you need to redline, take any kind of notes whatsoever, make sure nothing's missing, and get your field supervisor acquainted with the project so that they understand before they ever get on site and start actually building this product. It allows them to figure out what they need to do, what their schedule and timeline is going to be like, because the next step is going to be building out a schedule. Once they build out a schedule from literally pinning the footers all the way to the final clean, then they can execute and start building. Now they have a detailed instruction manual that allows them to be in the field, focusing on building exactly what you've given them, what you've handed over to them to build this step-by-step instruction manual. Just imagine you have a 5,000 piece Lego set, right? I take that 5,000 piece Lego set and dump it all over a table and then maybe show you a picture at best. And I say, okay, go ahead and build that set. I'll give you the box, you can follow this picture. It's going to be pretty hard to get to that final product exactly the way it's supposed to be. But now I hand you the instruction manual, and it says step 1, place this piece right here. Step 2, place this piece right here. 3, 4, 5. That's exactly what you're creating for them. If you do all of these parts, I see so many builders, they get their plans, they get the architecture, do their plot plans, they get permits. Once they get the permit, then they're doing design, then they're doing selection. They're building their team as they go, and they wonder why they can't keep a budget. They wonder why they said it was going to cost this and it ended up costing this. They borrowed this much money, and then they have to gap fund, maybe $20,000, $30,000, $40,000 more because they didn't have everything planned accordingly from the very, very beginning. Or you really, honestly, when you see that happen, a lot of times these houses end up being hodgepodge put together and no real good design flow because A, they're doing it themselves and they're not a designer, and B, they're just kind of like picking things on the whim as they go and it doesn't give it a good flow. So once the field supervisor is now on site building, they can concentrate on 4 main things that they need to concentrate on: the schedule, cleanliness, safety, and quality, based on following the instructions of what you gave them. If you're struggling a little bit to understand this process fully, and of course this is a short video, there's much more to this. Reach out to me at info@homebuildingbp.com and let's get on a call and see how I can better help you. Again, if you haven't subscribed, hit the subscribe button and the like button if you feel like you got some good value out of this video. I look forward to seeing you in the next video.